Okay, camera rolling. Hi guys, so I'm going to start doing some book reviews along with drawing related things. I kind of forgot about a lot of my manga, and since that was such a big part of my life and still is such a big part of my life, I was wanting to maybe do some reviews, get you caught up on my collection, and just to, explain the overall my likings for the books that I own. I'm not going to show you a full shot of my manga library type deal, just because I've already got the lighting set up for this, and I don't really want to move the camera. So I'll show that in another video. I'll do like a complete tour, but I'm starting with my first book that is in my library, which is 5 centimeters per second, and it's in the front of my library because I did it alphabetically, and so the numbers go first. So this is just the first book that I have, and I'm going to go through all of them. Hopefully, like as a series or a set, I'll figure it out like once I get there, but I'm just going to explain what I like about the series and stuff. So right now, I'm lucky that my first book is just a one book series. It is called 5 centimeters per second, like I brought up before. I honestly kind of don't have a lot to say about this. I really liked how it turned out, and I really like the art style. I think it's very beautiful and very elegant, and if you even just look at the first few pages, they are in color, which is very, very amazing. I'm quite amazed and happy that they're in color just because I love seeing colored pages, and so it's just you get a taste of how beautiful the book is, which I don't know why my lighting is making it look so dark. I don't really, it's really annoying me. And also the glare is kind of annoying. But, anyways, getting on to this book in itself, I had heard about this book, or I guess I heard about the anime before I heard about the book, but I'd known the title and I'd seen it around, and I was like, oh, okay, this must be the book adaptation of the movie, or, vice versa, whichever came first. And I was like, oh, okay, this is really great. I'm really excited to read this, and so I picked it up because I'd never seen the movie of it, and so I was like, oh, let's get the book, let's read the book, and then watch the movie adaptation. And I was pretty happy with it overall. It is a romance, and I do really, really like romances. I don't know what makes me fall in love with them so much, but I really just have an obsession. But honestly, wow, why is this glowing? This is so weird. Anyways, back on topic. Honestly, I really was expecting more of this book since I'd already been very, very versed in a lot of different romances, and I was like, oh, this could go a million different ways, and it ended up. I don't really want to. There might be some spoilers in this, so if you haven't read it, spoiler alert. But the ending really didn't go the way I'd wanted it to, and I know people say that all the time. They're like, "Oh, this ending was terrible. I wish it was done." Blah blah blah. But like, I honestly think that the ending was kind of not sour, but really played off, and it just didn't make me very happy. I was overall kind of upset with how it ended. I was like, "Wow, that's kind of a bummer," and it kind of bummed me out a little bit. Wasn't very happy with the ending. I was like, "Oh, okay, some endings are bad," and I shrugged it off, and then I watched the movie adaptation, and it was even worse. Like, I honestly was just like, why did I waste my time? Like, it was very beautifully done, but the romance in it was so clouded with, like, this almost hatred for the main male character just because his personality, like, they portrayed him really well in the book. Like, they honestly portrayed him as kind of a guy who just didn't understand himself and didn't know what he wanted because, he was growing up at the same time, and he was just like, oh man, I'm growing up with this girl and blah blah blah. But in the movie they ended it and played it off like he was a complete asshole, and it was just really unexpected. And so I'm kind of turning to the book and liking the book a lot more just because they didn't play him off as such a manipulator. In the book, he was more just, I have some feelings and I like these feelings, but I really wish that they had ended up getting together at the end. I know that's a big spoiler, but there's a lot of characters introduced in this series over the course of its little sections. You can see where it gets like dark. Usually they like perforate it, and so it's like, well, not perforate, but they have the chapter titles and stuff, and so they're all sectioned out, and there's so many different characters that come in and out and in and out and in and out, and it just kind of shows all their different opinions, and it shows all their story, and it's quite nice. I definitely like the book, but it definitely lacked in a lot of ways. Just, it's supposed to be a romance, and yet it really wasn't a romance. It was kind of like this weird, like, love quarrel bullshit mix thing. I don't really know. It's really hard to explain what this was. I honestly don't really have words for it. I look at it and I'm like, oh, romance instantly, and then like you read it and you're like, what is this? Like, it's more of a drama, I guess, than a romance. I mean, that's how I would put it. But either way, I really like this book. If I had to give it like a star rating, which I don't know if I'm gonna like do this for all of them or if I, or if I'm not, but like if I could give it like out of 10 stars, I'd probably give it like a 7 or a 6 just because like the overall art style is really good and I liked the characters a lot, but like the execution of the plot really did bother me and just how like lengthy some parts were and how like wordy other parts were. It just was not very it wasn't very continuous and it wasn't very smooth. It was very jumbled, and I mean, I feel like that's probably how they wanted it to be, but in my taste, it's very hard to read something like that because you're going from really fast paced, like, oh my god, this is all happening at once, to really slow, like, dialogue slash, you know, learning about characters, and it's just, it gets really, really tedious because some points are really good and then some points are really bad, and it's just one of those books that I can't tell if I really love it or if I'm kind of neutral just because of all the weird stuff that like they didn't seem to have flow with the rest of the book. But anyways, I'd give this around 6 or 7 stars ish. I mean, just because I love the art style so much. Let me look and find a page that's really beautiful. Ah, see, look at this, chapter 4. Look at how beautiful, like, it's just, oh man, like the scenes are so dramatic and I think they're so pretty, but like the execution of a lot of the plot was just very stale, and it just kind of made me really sad. Like overall, I was not happy with the ending just because it bummed me out a lot, and I was hoping to be very happy because there are some books that I'm going to review that have the best endings, and I'm like, oh, it's so happy, it's so cute, I really am happy about this, and this one just made me really, really sad. Like, I was definitely a bit crushed once the ending came around. I was like, wow, that's not how I wanted it to end at all, and, I can't obviously make the executive decision of how this book is going to end, but, like, for my taste, it was very harsh. It really was really dramatic and harsh, and I wish it wasn't like that, but anyways, that was my review for this book. If you guys want me to do more reviews, or if you want me to elaborate on some reviews, and you feel free to add like comments, and I'll like make a response to this video if you want more explained about this book, 5 centimeters per second. That'd be great. Honestly, if you want me to do these reviews, give me a thumbs up. Maybe comment and just say, wow, this was really cool, or like, oh man, do more of these, because I want to know what you guys want me to do. I want to stick in the like book art realm and vlog realm, so if it's within those, then I'll definitely give it a shot and be like, yeah, sure, I'll totally do that. So feel free to give me a comment, and check this book out if you want. I would actually really recommend it. It's very good, other than the fact that the ending's kind of weird and the pacing, but it's definitely a must read, and it's big. In the United States, it's $18.95, and in Canada, it is that Canadian dollar? Yes, I think it's $20.95, so it's not that expensive. It's pretty big, and the pages are really thin, and it's a pretty heavy book. So, yeah, I think, oh, is this one? Yeah, this is one page. They're pretty small, but I would definitely recommend like checking it out. If you don't want to buy it, I wouldn't, like, if you don't, how do I phrase this? If you don't want to like make a commitment to buying it, checking it out at like the library might be a really good bet, because like honestly, I definitely like having it in my collection, and I think it's worth paying almost $20 for, but some people might not think that, so I mean, maybe check it out at the library if you can. But anyways, that was my review. I'll probably post another one of these really soon, actually, because I don't really need to do a lot of editing on them. I don't think I actually have to do any editing at all, unless, like, the video is too long. But I'm going to try to keep each review at around 10 minutes. Even if it's a series, I'm going to try to smush it down as much as I possibly can, because I don't want them to span very long. If it's a super long series, I might end up making it a bit longer just because there's probably a lot of books to cover. But anyways, thank you for watching. I'll post another one of these soon. So, yeah. Bye-bye.